Back at the beginning, Dr. Wilson read an article about the experience that a principal had shadowing a student and how it really changed his mindset about what students went through. We were excited because we were hoping and really wanting to get that same thing from the experience, to figure out, what do our students go through? Are our expectations too high? Do we stress them out? What did they get from Nixa Junior High?
I knew how social the junior high kids were, but oh my goodness, so much different than when I was in junior high. It is all about their social life, and like walking quick, mall walking is what I call it. They've got it down to an art where they know, hey, when I'm at this point in the building and the tardy bell rings, I gotta book it to my class.
I found that I was a lot more confident with my answers and what I was doing when I was allowed to collaborate with other students. When I got into big groups, I did notice even I got off task a little. I was like, oh, what'd you do today? But when it was kept small, that process of socializing became super important to the educational process, to my learning, as I was able to bounce ideas off people and then be more confident in what I was writing on my paper or the answers that I was going to give the teacher. Because I was a student, I still felt that anxiety of, I really don't want to raise my hand and answer, what if it's not right? And so when I was allowed to use that social interaction in an educational way, it made it better for me.
The classes went by really quick. I was engaged the whole time. My student was never bored because every teacher is different, so that change up every 50 minutes is, I think, actually very beneficial for junior high kids.
I think that sometimes it's easy to get in the hang of, I wish I was more like that teacher, because we do strive to give our students our best. But as a student, it would be so boring if every time I walked into the teacher's classroom, they did the same things or they had the same personality. Their tools are different and their approach to things are different. The fact that I got to take notes here, I got to collaborate here, I got to work independently on a project here, that helped me get through my day. It may sound so silly, but walking into lunch as a new student was a little overwhelming. And even walking into the gym was a little scary, because you're walking in front of all these people. I have this one person that I'm with, but she has her group of friends that she's with, and so I don't really know where I fit in. And for that moment, I had that feeling of that new student who walks in and doesn't know what they're doing. Her and her friends just enveloped me and just totally took me in, talked to me like I was a kid, was sitting there, doing this in their face and putting food all over the place, and didn't even care that I was a teacher, I was new. They were just junior high kids, and junior high kids truly have the biggest hearts, and I know that, but to feel it from a student's perspective, it was really neat, and it stood out to me. And I know that every kid is not that way, obviously, but just the welcoming feeling that I got in the hallways and in the lunchroom and even in the morning, it was so nice.
I was just suddenly part of the group. And I was kind of standing on the outside when they were in the hallway at one point, and they were chatting with each other, and the next thing I know, she's grabbing me by the arm and is like, come here, come get in the group. And I was like, oh, okay. And they're talking about what they did over the weekend. And I think that's one thing that maybe across the board, our junior high is very welcoming.